finally, more than 60 seconds. Welcome to my first long-form video. Today we are talking about how the gaming industry is in a very strange place right now. We are watching major studios spend hundreds of millions of dollars on single projects. Sometimes these budgets balloon up to a terrifying $1 billion. And what is the result? They are pumping out broken, overpriced, and deeply disappointing blockbuster releases year after year. We are drowning in live service failures and incredibly safe, boring formulas. But while corporate giants stumble, independent developers have quietly taken over the medium. In an industry dominated by massive publishers, terrified of taking creative risks, smaller, passionate teams consistently surprise us. They deliver pure mechanical innovation, unmatched creativity, and actual fun. Today, we are looking at 6 incredible games that absolutely prove you do not need a massive, bloated budget to create an undeniable masterpiece. We are kicking this list off with the game recommended by you down in the comments. Thank you so much for the feedback. Deep Rock Galactic. You play as a team of heavily armed space dwarves, diving into procedurally generated caves, desperately mining for resources while fighting endless swarms of alien bugs. It was developed by Ghost Ship Games, an independent studio that built its reputation on one core idea: co-op first, and you feel that in every single mission. I have played a lot of Deep Rock Galactic myself, and it is ridiculously fun with friends. But I swear, those cave leeches hanging from the ceiling still haunt my nightmares every time one yoinks me into the dark. Because of their independence, the progression system is deeply rewarding. The caves are completely destructible. The community is famously positive, and the rock and stone culture has turned into a lifestyle. This masterpiece completely embarrasses massive live service shooters that cost 10 times as much to make. Speaking of your amazing recommendations, another one of you brought this next title up in the comments. Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. There is a massive debate right now. Is Expedition 33 technically an indie game or an AA title? Because it looks absolutely phenomenal. It genuinely looks like it had a $100 million budget, with lavish cinematic presentation that rivals full-blown AAA RPGs. The visual fidelity is staggering, but the core in-house development team at Sandfall Interactive was only around 30 people. They used outsourced partners for specific elements, letting them stay incredibly agile. Now, I am not a big fan of turn-based combat in general, but Expedition 33 hooked me instantly. The cinematic flair feels straight out of a massive AAA release, and the parry-focused, timing-based combat system makes every single turn feel tense and reactive. It blends classic turn-based structure with real-time dodges and parries that can completely negate damage if you nail the timing. It features breathtaking graphical spectacle and boss fights that demand serious focus. This game proves smaller studios can compete directly with the biggest AAA giants. You do not need 500 developers to make a beautiful, cinematic RPG. But what if you only care about pure, flawless gameplay? Then we have to talk about Dead Cells. Developed by Motion Twin, this game completely perfected the action roguelike formula. The moment-to-moment combat is vastly more satisfying than almost any big-budget action game currently on the market. You explore a constantly shifting, beautifully pixelated castle. You unlock a huge variety of weapons, mutate your build, and die over and over again. Every dodge must be timed perfectly. Every victory feels completely earned. To be honest, I have not actually played Dead Cells myself yet, but pretty much everyone I know says it is one of the tightest, most addictive action games they have ever played. And look at how Motion Twin treats their players. Over the years, Dead Cells received dozens of massive free updates, new biomes, balance passes, and features. That is the kind of support AAA studios would carve up into overpriced season passes. Motion Twin respected your purchase, and they became absolute legends in the indie space. If you want a game that pushes the absolute boundaries of interactive storytelling, we have Outer Wilds. You are placed in a small, handcrafted solar system caught in a 22-minute time loop. The sun goes supernova at the end of every single cycle. Here is the brilliant part. There is no traditional combat, no leveling up, and 0 glowing objective markers dragging you around. your only real tool is knowledge. You explore wildly different planets, uncover ancient alien history, and piece together why the universe keeps resetting. I absolutely love this game. Every breakthrough feels like a real mystery solved. On PC, I even used a multiplayer mod to mess around in the loop with my friends. It turned the mind-bending exploration into a chaotic, hilarious, shared experiment. It is a perfectly constructed puzzle box. It respects your intelligence in a way modern AAA titles refuse to do. Big publishers would never greenlight a project with zero combat and zero waypoints. That total lack of corporate fear is exactly why this indie masterpiece is unforgettable. When it comes to writing and deep world building, one game completely destroys AAA blockbusters. Disco Elysium. This isometric RPG is unlike anything else ever created. You wake up as a wrecked, amnesiac detective with a brutal hangover. You are immediately dropped into a politically charged murder case in a decaying city. But here is the twist. There is no traditional combat system. You do not fight with swords or guns. Every major confrontation plays out through intense dialogue checks and internal skill rolls between the conflicting voices inside your own head. The writing is razor sharp, tackling heavy themes with enormous nuance. I have not actually played Disco Elysium yet, but everything I have seen makes it look like a literary masterpiece. It has climbed so high on my backlog that I am seriously considering diving into it in the next few weeks. It proves indie games can deliver narratives far more compelling and thought-provoking than massive billion-dollar blockbusters. It is a phenomenal story that just happens to be interactive. For our final entry, I am bringing in another fantastic viewer recommendation. We absolutely have to talk about Cave Story. This game is legendary because it was entirely developed by one single person. Daisuke Amaya, known as Pixel, created this entire project in his spare time. He handled the code, the art, the incredibly catchy music, and the story entirely on his own. One person built one of the most influential indie games of all time. When Cave Story released, it helped completely revive the Metroidvania genre. I actually played Cave Story on my Nintendo 3DS, and I freaking love that game. I sank a ridiculous number of hours into it, just grinding my weapons and trying to squeeze every bit of content out of that cartridge. Cave Story proved that a one-person team could genuinely rival major studios. It laid the foundation for the modern indie explosion we are still benefiting from today. It is the quintessential indie success story. These 6 games prove a fundamental truth. The greatness of a game is never measured by its budget. It is measured by its heart, its design, and its respect for the player. Which indie games do you think are vastly better than modern AAA titles? Let me know in the comments below, and your pick might make it into the next video. I wish you all the best. Be sure to come back and subscribe for more gaming news.